Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Baseball Sim Auctions. Today, we're going to conduct a World Series. In other words, we're going to simulate several seasons to determine the winner of an auction that we had that we held a few days ago. Now, the teams that were involved in that auction were the 1910 Athletics, a great team. They won 102 games that year, largely behind the great pitching of two Hall of Famers, Eddie Plank and Chief Bender, and also a career year from a gentleman by the name of Jack Coombs, who actually had a better year than either Plank or Bender. Next up, we had the 1920 St. Louis Browns, led by George Sisler, Hall of Famer George Sisler, who that year batted .407, and that was actually one of 2 years where he batted over .400. And actually, the other year that he batted over .400, he batted .420. But some of the other peripheral numbers in this particular year, 1920, were actually better. We also have the 1964 Chicago Cubs, and that team contains the best season of Ron Santo. And it also had an excellent season from Hall of Famer Billy Williams. Not his best season, but a very good season. Let's see, after that, we deconstructed the 1973 Pirates, and the reason we did that is because Willie Stargell was on that team. Stargell had a terrific year that year. He had 44 homers, almost identical to the year he had in 1971, but 1973 was just a tad better. And then finally, we had the 1997 Dodgers featuring Mike Piazza, who that year put together one of the best hitting seasons by any catcher in baseball history. So as a reminder, in the sim auction version of the World Series, what we do is we simulate entire seasons. Every season is a proxy for a game. The team that wins 4 seasons is crowned the champion and they win the World Series. And the reason we do that, simulate seasons that is because by running entire seasons, we eliminate the randomness that is inherent in short playoff series, and therefore we pretty much make it clear who the best team is. So before we get started, we're just going to take a few minutes to review the teams that we put together a couple of days ago and just sort of take a look at our hitting, our pitching, decide what we like, what we don't like, what we think we could have done better, and so forth. So we'll take a few minutes to do that, and then we'll get started on simulating the seasons. So, Anthony, you're first, and I know we did a little bit of this at the end of the auction, but it's since this is a completely different video, I think it's a good idea to just touch on it again a little bit. What do you think about your team?
They did pretty well, getting pretty solid bats, I think, across the lineup, at least for the top half.
Yeah.
With getting Williams and Oliver and Collins as well with pretty good speed.
Yeah, Aldring is really underrated. I mean, those are pretty nice numbers. Almost an 800 OPS for $10. That's pretty darn good. And even Rogers, not bad for a shortstop for $3. Yeah. And then what do you think about your pitching?
I'm definitely happy with the bullpen I was able to get. Would have been nice to get another like 4th or 5th starter that was a little better than the 2 3s I have at the bottom there, but not too bad.
Yeah, agreed. I'm going to throw in my 2 cents too, because since I didn't play, and even though I didn't play, I just love the analysis and the prices that you guys paid and your strategy. So I still had tons of fun, even though I wasn't an active participant. What I liked about your team, Anthony, is that I think of all the players, I think you probably, well, definitely in your pitching staff, I think you probably were the one that you didn't overpay for anybody. And I really like the $29 you paid for Larry Jackson. And even on your pitching side, you were very disciplined with your money. So I thought you did a really nice job in that respect. Yeah. All right. We're up to Steve, who did a very unorthodox thing for him. He actually spent some money on hitting.
I
What do you
did.
think, Steve?
I didn't get enough pitching. And I went, I set the record for a hitter. And I know
Yeah.
that was smash, but I thought he was worth it.
Yeah.
I felt like once everyone kind of surpassed me in dollars spent, I was able to put a decent team together.
Yeah.
Because I was out early. But everybody kind of caught up and paid a lot for a lot of big hitters.
Yeah.
I wanted to get 4 of the top 8 or 9 hitters, and I think I got 3 that I was targeting anyway. And I could use another pitcher. I think a good starter, one of the good starters, I think would have made a big difference.
Yeah, let me pull up your pitching staff in 1 second. I got to tell you though, Steve, to get Bob Moose, which is a grade 10, 200
Yep.
innings for $9, that's phenomenal.
Yep.
Considering the amount of money that you spent on hitting,
Mhm.
you picked up Moose for 9, Martinez for 6, not bad. Rooker for 20, honestly, that's not bad at all. It's 170 innings
Yeah.
of either way, a 10 or a 14, depending on how you use them. And
Yeah.
I know here you used them as a starter, which made sense. And even picking up Hall for $4, I mean, that's good. I thought you did a great job of putting together a very serviceable pitching staff, considering that you almost spent $200 on hitting.
And I think I've spent more on hitting this time than at least 2 drafts, prior. So
Totally. Yeah.
I
Totally.
I think I'm just kind of steady in the middle with my starters. If it's like 4 2s or 3s, but
Yeah. No,
I could always use a
yeah,
gun.
I think you did a nice job of putting this pitching staff together, and a lot of it is because so much money went out early.
Yeah.
So good job.
Yeah.
All right. Michael, what do you think?
I mean, it was an average, average across the board, pretty much. I think
Yeah.
it has some good team speed, have some good, decent on base guys, good team defense. Starting pitching is good. Relief pitching is horrible. We'll see what the micromanager does. Hopefully, he leaves him in there a little longer, and
Yeah.
get some interesting running and hit and running.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean you got to get length out of Bender and Plank for sure, and Valdez you need obviously at least 200 innings from him because they're not going to protect leads at the end of the game. You just don't have that kind of skill set on this team. But the starters, these top 3 guys, if those guys produce for you, you can make some noise for sure. And then hitting wise, well, if nothing else, you purchased the player with the best name in the auction. So you got that going for you, I think. And I think I mentioned this during the auction. I thought you paid a little bit too much for Zeal, but at that point in the auction, I really don't think there was that much left. Like I don't think you had any choice.
Right. No, I had him as the second best third baseman. So
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to end up with no third baseman. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way he was going. And that's the
Yeah.
time in the draft where everybody was spending a lot. So
Exactly. And because he was only lot 13, but even at lot 13, a lot of the hitters, a lot of the top line hitters had already exited the auction. So it was one of those situations where you got to grab what's left or you're going to be left with nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I figured he had 672 plate appearances, so I don't need anybody else out of that position. So why
Exactly. You had third base covered. Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's see. Mark, what do you think?
I think we'll be competitive.
All right. That says it all. You're
I
going to
think
need.
I'm
Yeah, go
weak
ahead.
in the middle, going down the middle.
Yeah.
Which is not unusual for 4 of the 5 teams that were selected.
Right.
Right.
That's
It's
true.
using the old theory of all your power and your hitting on the corners and defense and little weaker bat down the middle. Now it's changed a lot in the last 10 years or so, but all of these teams, I mean, none of them were in the 2000s. So,
Yeah.
I got some top end hitters and I got some decent pitchers. I mean, I got probably the number 1 pitcher Uh, and then I got, I would say, two number 3 pitchers in Browse and Park.
Yeah.
And because they've all got decent number of innings, I only have to have a 4-man rotation.
Correct. And really, yeah, you could argue that Jack Combs is really 2 pitchers in 1, because he'll probably end up giving you, like 380 innings. So basically you divide that by 2, it's 190 innings, twice. So that's really, you're getting 2 pitchers out of 1 really there. So yeah, Jack Combs was definitely the best pitcher in the auction. And that record that you paid really makes sense. And I don't think it was a bad price. I don't know how much profit you got there, but I still think it was a good price.
But as you said at the beginning, I mean, you only named about 6 or 7 really great guys on these teams.
Yeah.
So, to get them, you had to pay a premium.
No, you're absolutely right, because, in most sim auctions, unless Steve throws in the 2018 Orioles, but in most sim auctions, it really is 5 great historical teams. But really in this auction, it was one great historical team and 4, so-so teams, not great teams. So you're right. A lot of the star power was concentrated into just a few players, and if you wanted to get one of those guys, you were probably going to have to overpay. So, all right. And then lastly, Kevin, what about you? You definitely front loaded it with Stargell and Santo.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much. Wound up kind of getting locked out in the back half of the draft. Could have used one more spot there, but the target was Santo. I thought third base was real weak in this one, so figured get him and see where the chips fall. My top 4 with those 2 and Nixon and Sanguien should be okay, but maybe have some holes after that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've solved the riddle yet.
But that's okay. Part of the fun is solving the riddle. So hey, I hope if you don't win this one, I hope you decide to come back at a later date and give it another shot.
Oh yeah.
So it's
we're trying to improve on our wins from last time. I think I was barely cracking 70, so we'll see if we can make some noise. Pitching staff, I went with 4-man. I think I got enough, but I don't know. I don't have enough relief pitching. We'll just see what happens. Joe Torre in the hot seat once again.
Once again, yes. Well, you guys can blame the lack of relief pitching on Anthony because he kind of scooped them all up.
That's what I was thinking. I could have used some of Anthony's relievers and some of my Steve's spot in the draft a little bit there to close.
Yeah. Well, and remember you guys, because there were a lot of older like pre-1980 teams. So, and a lot of those teams didn't use a ton of relief. So as a result, there really wasn't that much relief available in this auction. And then when you go to Anthony's team and he picked up 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, the good ones, then it gets a little tight for the rest of you.
Oh
So,
yeah. What will the micromanager do in that situation? Will they be?
He'll use a starter in relief when he needs a reliever.
Does their performance suffer?
The starters remain with the same grade as they had as a starter. Now if the micromanager ever needs to start a relief pitcher, then the grade does decrease by 5.
Ooh.
But yeah, that's if a relief pitcher needs to be used as a starter. But if a starter is used in relief, his grade remains the same.
It may work then.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get to the fun. Good job, you guys, in analyzing your teams. This is I started doing this probably 3 auctions ago, and it felt right that we take a look at the teams before we get started. And I think it's worked out really nicely.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Little Zoom bar is still in the way. Let me get it out of the way. All right, let's make sure everybody, we're starting off here 0-0. Yep, everybody has a chance. Here we go. Season 1 is on its way.
Well, we know with my team, if McGraw doesn't like him, he'll just go beat the shit out of him. Oh, and he's
There's a
got to edit it
31
now.
run game. Someone scored 31 runs in one of those games.
Oh, geez. All right, let's see how we are doing in the early going here. Michael off to a quick start. Steve right behind him, and Anthony is right behind him. Everybody's still in it, though. It's still very, very early. 23 games into it. All right, let's take another look. Steve jumps ahead by 4.5 over Michael, 6.5 over Anthony. Kevin and Mark are falling behind a little bit now. So it's still early, but we got 54 games played.
I heard they're going on strike now. Is that what we decided?
No, wait, Steve, you said that in the last auction. No,
Oh,
you can
did I?
you can only use that once.
Ah.
All right, let's take another look. It's more or less the same, but Michael and Anthony are still within striking distance. Kevin and Mark are
Okay.
falling behind.
I'm depressed.
Hey, it's only the first season, Mark. Okay, anything can happen. It's only one season.
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense about how bad they are.
All Chen Ho's fault.
Yeah, blame it on Chan Ho.
Probably.
Well, I know for sure it's not going to be Jack Coombs' fault. That I know for sure.
Better sell them at the deadline to me.
You couldn't afford them.
All right, let's take another look. All right, we have a magic number, so let's just stay right here and keep updating this. Michael and Anthony are still not too far behind. 3.5, Steve. 13 game magic. Anthony 5 behind. 1, 8 magic, 2.5, Michael. We're done. Let's see if we have any rainouts. No rainouts. Drum roll, please. I wish I had a drum roll. I need some sound effects. Here we go. Anthony sneaks in at the end, catches Steve. Whoa. Well done, Anthony. Congrats. Steve, you were leading pretty much all the way till the very end.
Someone's losing their job.
Yep, got to fire that manager. All right, let me record this. Well done, Anthony. It's 91.89.
Gonna have to fire McGraw. Steve, can you go tell him he's fired?
Absolutely.
Had a good season too, 84 victories. All right, so season 1 belongs to Anthony. All right. So you guys remember, I just need to scoot out of this and save the stats, and I'll be right back to play season 2, but I want to save the stats for every season. Let me just minimize this.
Nicely done, Anthony.
Thanks. I'm
I think that
shocked
bullpen came in there in the last month.
Yeah, the 9-1 there to end the season helps a lot.
Nice job.
If I was a nice guy, I'd say good job.
And you guys all for this deciding season, whatever season turns out to be the deciding season, we'll go over the stats. I just don't want to slow us down too much by looking at the stats for every single season. But of course, you'll get all that information when I send you the Excel recap. All right, that takes care of that. Stats are saved. So now our next task is to erase these stats. There we go. And we're going to just double check to make sure we're starting clean. Yes, we are. And season 2 is underway. Sometimes I wish the games would sim just a little slower so we can kind of digest, because I don't know about you guys, but it's hard for me to actually keep track of who's
Yeah, I
doing
agree.
what. Yeah. But it's just so darn fast. All right, let's see where we're at early on. Steve is off to an early start again after 33 games, but everybody's in it right now. Mark is second, only 1 game back.
The Coombs effect.
There you go. Now he just has to hope he doesn't get tired. Got to get 400 innings out of him. All right, let's take another look. Steve actually all of a sudden must have gone on a winning streak, pulling ahead quite a bit now after 68 games. 9-game lead over Anthony.
It's not enough with that bullpen.
Yeah, it's still way too early. I remember I said that during an auction with Derek. Derek had like an 11-game lead with I don't know, 30
13?
games left.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
then I think he ended up losing the last 10 games of the season, and I lost to him by 1 game. So
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. I'm not gonna jinx anybody.
Jinx everybody else.
All right, here we go. Standings. Steve opening it up. 13-game lead now.
Look at that 1 run.
Ouch. Look at look at this. 21-9, Steve. Magic number of 19, Steve. 7.5-game lead over Anthony.
Oh, he'll blow it.
8 games. 8 with 8 magic. 4
Oh,
with 7 magic. Oh, you got it, Steve. Woo! No rainouts. Final tally. Woo! Steve, I don't know how you felt, but I was feeling it for you there.
Edge of my seat. Very exciting.
Good job, Steve. 89. Anthony, you almost got him again. 3
Again.
games. Yep, 3 games back. Michael, Kevin, and Mark were all kind of tightly packed in that second division. But actually, nobody had like a horrible year though. All right, let's tally this info.
Easy
and
for you to say.
Well, hey, you got 70 victories. I'm just trying to
Yeah, but that means I also had 86 losses.
I'm just trying to spin it as positive as I can. Mark.
Yeah, there's
Come on.
nothing to spin positive. But the problem is why?
Well, You know what? When I send you the stats recap, that's when you're going to be able to analyze the team. You can't really do it right now just based on the season results. You got to look at the numbers in their totality when I send you all the seasons. That's when you'll be able to see, oh, I get it. That's why the team didn't perform.
Yeah, I figure I probably got like 50 blown saves.
That is possible. All right, let's pull the rest of this and then we'll save the stats and we'll come back for season 3.
If you guys can't tell, I like to win.
Nothing wrong with that. All right, let me save these stats and we'll be right back for season number 3. All right, season 2 is saved. And let's come back and erase these stats and we'll get season 3 underway. All right, here we go. All right, let's take a look at the early going here. Steve again, off to Steve for all 3 seasons. You've gotten off to a quick start. After 30 games, Michael and Mark are right there. Anthony not too far behind. Kevin's falling behind a little bit, but everybody else is in it. All right, let's see where we're at now. Steve's still in front, but Michael is making a run at him. Anthony not too far behind. Actually, nobody is completely out of it. But Steve is 3rd season in a row where he's asserted himself at the very beginning.
We have very good spring trainings. Focus on the right things.
The fundamentals.
Fundamentals.
Yeah. Right, let's take a look. Steve, you're pretty much holding that 6-game lead after 108 games. Five-game lead now. Michael and Anthony right behind you. 31 Magic. Let's stay right here. 3.5 and 4. 26 Magic.
Too much time left.
Yeah, lots of time left. 2 and 3. 19 Magic. 1.5. 2.5.
Oh,
Oh, Anthony passed you. 11 Magic now for Anthony. 6 Magic. Steve is 2 back. Michael 4 back. Oh, that's it. Let's see if we got any rainouts. No rainouts. Here we go. Season 3 belongs to Anthony by 1 game.
good job.
Nice job, Anthony.
Ah.
Michael, good job. 5 games behind. You made a run for it. You were pretty much in second for most of the year. All right. Let's tally this. Save the
Mark,
stats.
very consistent.
Yeah.
Consistently bad.
70 victories.
That's right. I've been there.
Maybe it's my manager.
I heard front office, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Anthony wins season 3. 88, 87 for Steve. All right, let me save this. And we'll come back for season 4.
I have to wonder, even though I have the targeted innings, if maybe because I have not a great number of pitchers, they're fatiguing. Not getting the day's rest. I mean, I don't know the sim, so
Generally, if your pitcher is fatigued, in other words, if you have one of your declared 4 starters and one of them is fatigued, the micromanager automatically dips into your bench and grabs a starter that's not fatigued. So,
no,
yeah.
but what
So
I
in other
mean
words-
is if I'm using 3 or 4 pitchers and I'm only carrying about 10, it's not the innings, it's just the body's having to work multiple days. I gotta wonder.
Well, where that will come into play is when you have an overall really weak pitching staff. Because remember what I said, I think a couple of sims ago. Even though the barometer that I use is innings, the engine itself uses batters faced. In other words, once a pitcher reaches their real life batters face limits, then they do build in like a 10% cushion. But when the pitcher reaches their batter's face limits, then they're completely fatigued if they're forced to be used any more than that. So for good pitchers, that's usually not an issue. As a matter of fact, for good pitchers, they end up pitching probably a little bit more than they really did in real life. But for bad pitchers, it does become an issue because they're going to reach those batters' face limits pretty quickly.
Although I could use what my brother used to say when we were young and played computer ball with the Sims, that I could just say the computer cheats and it hates me.
That I suppose that's a possibility.
That's what he used to say all the time. And I'm like, that's impossible.
Hey, my wife and I just rewatched probably for the 4th time The Matrix the other night. It makes you think.
I've never watched it.
Maybe my favorite movie of all time.
A fine movie.
Yeah.
Well, it must be. I mean, the lead actor's Canadian.
There you go.
I don't know about the sequels though. Sequels were they were okay.
Yeah, they were okay. I think the sequels they pushed it a little bit, but that first one, classic.
First one's in my top 10 for sure.
Yeah. All right. Season 3 is all saved up and tidy. Let's erase it from this module. And we're going to get into season 4. It's Anthony leading 2 seasons to 1. Here we go. Season 4 underway. All right, let's see if Steve can make it 4 in a row where he takes off early into the lead. Actually, yes, he's tied with Anthony. Michael, not too far behind. Kevin and Mark falling behind a little bit. Still very early, though. 20, 26 games, 30 games into the season. All right, let's see what we're up to. Anthony, slight lead over Steve. Michael, still very, very much in it after 63 games. Okay, let's see what we're up to. Wow, look at this. Mano a mano between Anthony and Steve after 88 games. Anthony with a very slight lead. Let's take a look. Anthony opening it up a little bit. We got a magic number, so let's just stay right here now. 39 magic, 3.5 behind Steve. Whoa, that was quick. 7-game win streak by Anthony.
Must have played me.
Wow. All right, Anthony is pulling away. 16 magic now. 6 magic. Clinch. Nicely done, Anthony.
Wow.
You turned it, it was close for more than half the season, and then you just turned it on at the end. Impressive.
The 28-9 there in one-run games.
That
Huge.
that will do it. That's directly related to your bullpen. Let's see if we have any rainouts. 1. All right, and the final tally is, wow, a 100-win season. Impressive. Nicely done.
Nice job.
Yeah,
A hell of a season.
great job.
It's a good one.
All right, let me save season 4 and we'll come back for season 5. Anthony is on the brink of a sim auction World Series championship. But it's not over till it's over, so we'll see.
I'm on the brink of throwing my computer across the room. I definitely expected more out of my club.
Yeah, and all kidding aside, Mark, when I send you the recap, that's when you'll be able to take a look and see exactly where you were lacking. But right now, you're just looking at a number right now. You're just looking at a record, but you need to dive in a little bit into that Excel spreadsheet to really, see where the deficiencies were.
So Andy, are you playing in this one this weekend?
No, I decided the last two. I wanted you guys I wanted to spectate and just let somebody else have a crack at the glory. So I'll be the auctioneer again this Saturday. All right, let us reset these stats. All right, here we go. If Anthony wins this, it's all over. Season 5 is underway. You can tell when my computer gets hot, that's when the sims slow down a little bit. All right, let's take a look.
Seeing losing games 17-4 and 14-2.
But you know what? Let's stop it for a second and take a look at those box scores. That's weird. It's not giving me that option. Usually it does. Let's see where the standings are. Kevin, 27 and 20 in first place. Steve second, Michael third, Anthony fourth. Wow. There you go, Kevin.
Let's go.
There we go. End of day. All right, let's take a look at some of these box scores. We got a second here to see what happened here.
Oof.
So Bob Buell got demolished. So my guess on this game is that your bullpen was tired, and the micromanager had no choice but to just leave Buell in there to get clobbered.
And I think that might come too. I don't have enough pitchers.
Chief was dealing.
Yeah, 12 strikeouts. Nicely done. Mark, you thought there was another wacky one here, right? Let's see. 14-9.
You know, there was a 17 something.
Oh, there it
Hey.
is. 17-4.
Steve Hammer and me.
That's a nice one. Let's look at that.
That's Chan Ho. Yeah.
It's my boy.
Yeah.
But again, complete game. So
Skyler 20 hits.
McGraw doesn't believe in using relievers.
Well, again, and it's also you didn't have a ton of relief, and I don't know in this particular game, I don't know what condition the relievers were in, so he might not have had a choice. But what I will do later, because you did mention it earlier, and I want to test your theory. I'm gonna give you a different manager. I'm gonna give you good old Buck Miller too, and I'm gonna run some sims with Buck instead of McGraw to see if that changes anything. Just to see if the manager is impacting these decisions. But my initial thought is that it's just based on the fact that leaving the pitcher in was a better option than using somebody in your bullpen. But I'll try to confirm that later. All right, let's take a look at the standings before we get going again. Michael jumps over Kevin after 59 games. So a good chunk of the season over. Everybody's still in it, but Michael is in first place. Kevin is closely behind. All right, let's get rolling again. Someone other than Anthony needs to win to keep this alive. If not, Anthony will be the champion. All right, let's take a look. Michael and Kevin still at it. Nicely done. Almost 100 games on the books. 89, 90 games, 85 for Michael. Steve, still not too far behind. Anthony, still half a season to go. Mark, you could put together a winning streak too.
I wouldn't count on it.
Let's see.
Oh, what do you think? Huh? What do you think?
The wheels are coming off.
Let's see.
Oh, there's a win.
Still within striking distance though.
All right.
Michael, Steve, and Kevin. So you guys are saying to Anthony, nope, not yet. Let's see if Anthony responds. Now, Michael, magic number. Let's stay right here. Can Steve catch him? Whoa, 2 games. Kevin, 6. Anthony, 7.5. 22 magic. 14 magic. Steve right behind. Kevin and Anthony right there too. It's anybody's game right here.
Not mine.
Anybody's season.
Come
Magic
on,
of
boys.
6.
I think this will
Ooh.
be my first.
Oh, Steve. Wait, hold on a minute. Let's take a look. Any rainouts?
I think there is one.
No rainouts.
Ah,
Here we
right
go.
on 500.
Here we go. Season 5. Steve.
Ah,
Oh my goodness, that was awesome.
good one.
Look at this season.
Look at the
Steve.
Anthony, 9-1 in the last 10.
Wow. Anthony, you almost came. Anthony, you were like 11 out at one point there.
Yeah, I don't know how they came back.
Wow. That was impressive. Wow. Now that was probably one of the best seasons we've run. That was fantastic. Jeez.
Plus, Anthony went 9-1 in his last 10.
I know. That is awesome. Good job, you guys. And
Congrats.
Steve, you get to live another day.
I'm exhausted.
I believe that's my first career 500 season right there.
That's
Little feather in my
terrific.
cap.
Nice job, Kevin. Michael.
Over the hump.
Wow. Oh man, that was fantastic. All right, let's log this information so we can come back to season 6. All right, so it's 3-2 Anthony. Let's save these stats.
So anybody's thoughts on the because my team sucks so bad here. Any thoughts on the Hall of Fame votes that came in today?
I don't get it. You know, I don't see Helton or Maurer. I mean, I know Maurer's close, but I never thought any of these guys were Hall of Famers watching them play their entire careers.
I can't. I mean, I don't have like like a crazy problem. I don't have like a Harold Baines type of problem.
Right.
But I see where Steve's coming from. I always thought Adrian Beltre was a very nice player.
And even really good at some points.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know about a Hall of Famer.
His defense is off the chain, though.
Agreed. But Michael, I almost feel like defense has gotten just like we're starting to value defense maybe way more than we should, I think. Almost.
Well, I think people have undervalued defense actually with the metrics out there now and how we can, kind of see total player value. I think that's how Roland got in too. I mean, defense matters.
That's
and
how
I think
Roland
it matters more.
100%, 100%, Mark.
It does. And I agree with you, Michael. I think it was undervalued for a long time. I guess my question is, are we starting to go into a territory where it's overvalued? So I don't know.
Probably.
I don't think so.
With Roland getting in, Kent should have been a shoe-in too.
Kent for sure.
Yeah.
That's.
But
Kent has really
didn't get in
shitty defense.
because he pissed off writers left, right, and center.
Yeah.
I thought they got it right actually today. I thought the three that are in, and I don't have a problem with Wagner not making it. The only thing I would have liked to have seen was, and this is just out of pure comic effect, was Bartola Colon making a second ballot. Because you got to root for that guy.
That is true.
So Jeff Kent is quite a ways behind Lou Whitaker, Bobby Grich, Chase Utley in career value, significantly behind them. And that's because he plays far below league average defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to look in the scope of when he played.
Yep, and that's why I use RAA because it compares it to the league averages. And he's got a 290 career RAA, and I think Whitaker's pretty close to 400.
Yeah.
And Utley's up there too.
Yeah, but offensively, he was better than Roland.
For sure.
Well, again, he played in the steroid era too, so I mean.
So okay, so with that argument, then you have to say that Ortiz shouldn't be in. Either
For who?
Ortiz. I mean,
Ortiz. Well, Ortiz is a steroid user, but
and I agree. But
I mean, maybe
nobody cared about letting him in. So we just have to look.
I wouldn't put Ortiz in, but I wouldn't put Ken in either.
Yeah.
The guy that I would put in and that I would have put in ahead of Helton actually is Beltran.
Yeah, Beltran is deserving.
Yeah,
I think the Astros stuff kind of is what kept him off being first ballot at least.
You're right. He's getting penalized for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not going to bring the PED guys in, you can't bring the garbage boys in.
Right.
And I do think eventually that's going to change. I think in 10, 15 years, I mean, I think you're going to have some guys, some writers that are probably going to soften up and get those PED guys in.
Yeah.
Well, then do we open it up to Rose and the Black Sox or not?
You know what? I don't know the full story on the Black Sox. I would put Rose in. I would. I'd put Bonds in.
A-Rod? I mean, where do you...
I put A-Rod in, to be honest with you. I just think these guys were good beyond whatever steroids they used.
But we'll never know.
Yeah, we never will. So anyway, and that's why we have sim auctions, so that we don't have to worry about all that junk.
We should have a steroid era draft. There we go.
There you go.
I would like to use the Black Sox one sim.
Yeah.
We could arrange that.
1919.
Yeah, we could arrange that for sure. Actually, I think I have the 1919 Reds as one of the teams in my randomizer. Not the White Sox, but I do have the Reds in there. Yeah.
Well, the Black Sox were so favored in that series.
Yeah.
If you're going to put the Reds in, you should be putting the Sox in.
You're right. Actually, I might have them in. I'm going to double check that. All right, so here we go. This is going to be the start of season 5. Right now, Anthony's got 3 seasons in his pocket, and Steve has 2. This is very, very close. So anything could happen. Let's see what happens in season 5.
See if I can get to 500.
There
Here
you
we
go.
go. Here we go. Season 6 underway.
Really good start. Okay. I'm feeling good.
I missed that. Is that sarcastic or real?
No, I grabbed 3 up off against Anthony. So
Okay, that's a
I'm
good start.
building that cushion I'm going to lose later in the year to him. So, I just gave him it all back. Fantastic. That was fun.
All right, let's see if your assessment is correct. Let's take a look. You're in first place though, 14-8. Mark, right behind you.
All right, Mark.
Yeah,
Look at-
we'll give it away.
All right. So it's very early, 22 games, but Steve's in the lead. All right, let's take another look. Steve, what happened there? Opening it up. Still
Too many-
early, but a 10.5 game lead is a 10.5 game lead.
Love the home field.
Nice. Look at that. 21-6.
I can't keep up 700 ball though. So
Wow. Anthony, what's going on, Anthony?
Yeah,
Anthony
that
just wants
one
to-
run luck's coming back.
Yeah, exactly. Anthony just wants to make it interesting for everybody.
good
All right.
strategy.
Yeah,
He's got us
All
right where
right.
he wants us.
yeah, exactly.
McGraw's not doctoring up the home field enough for me. Some of the stories of what he used to do, God.
Yeah, he was an interesting character for sure. All right, let's take another look and see if Steve can hold on to that huge lead. And a little less, but still solid. Michael, 8 behind. Anthony, you're making some ground here.
I can't think of his name. He co-authored that book with President Mark. And he was telling me he really would like to do a book on McGraw, but his publisher keeps telling him there's too many out there already.
Too many McGraw books? Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Steve, I don't think you're going to give this one up.
Anthony's still 18.5 back. There's still hope.
Let's stay right here.
Let's not.
Nope, you got this one.
There we go.
Impressive.
I'll take it.
Not even close this one. Wow.
Yeah. I think there's something up with the way my pitchers are being managed.
Yeah, I'm going to run some sims with a different manager just to give you some idea of whether that would have made a difference.
Come on, 100 wins.
It could happen. Let's take a look. No rainouts. Final tally. Oh,
Ah.
faded a little bit there, but still impressive. You won by 16.
I'll take
Kevin,
it.
nice job. Is that your second 78 win season? I think so.
Back to back,
I think so.
found our ceiling.
Oh, well done, Steve. You tie Anthony. You guys are at 3-3.
Oh, boy.
This is going to be interesting. All right, let's tally all this stuff so we can come back to season 7.
See, Anthony had a bad season, so I think he got that out of the way. I'm a little concerned.
You might be right.
I think it's going to be one of those 89, 88s again.
Yeah, if that was the case of getting bad seasons out of the way, I think we could be here all night, and I still won't. Oh,
Don't worry, Mark. I think I lost the first 32 auctions to Andy, so you get used to it after a while.
Yeah. When you see Chan-Ho Park throw a complete game, you know something's wrong.
Or
I'm so
Bob
sorry.
Buell.
Well, Bob had over 200 innings, I believe. Chan-Ho didn't. So
Not good
that's why
innings,
it's
though.
strange.
All right, let me save these stats and we'll be back for season 7. Wow, Steve and Anthony, you guys cannot be any closer. Average season win for the 6 seasons so far, 87-87. So you guys are dead even basically. All right, let's save these stats. All right. Wow. So this is great. 3-3, unless Michael or Mark or Calvin pull out a victory, this is going to end with this season because if either Steve or Anthony win, it is over. So let's get season 7 started.
Moose.
Here we go.
The all-time great Candiani Nomo matchup. Park beat Moose.
All right, let's take a look at the early going. Steve and Anthony,
There
but
we go.
Michael, actually, everybody's in it after
Everyone's in.
18 games. Yeah.
Ooh, 14-13.
Steve, I see a little streak there. Nope.
And there it
Wait.
goes.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look. This could be the deciding season. Steve opening it up a little bit. 45 games played. Anthony 6 behind. Let's take another look. 3 now. Got a little tighter. Anthony right there. The 2 team. It's gonna be one of you guys. This is it. This is gonna be the last season. Very exciting, gentlemen. You know what? I don't know how much we can glean from the box score, so I think we're just gonna stay right here in the standings. 3-game lead by Steve. Two-game lead by Steve. 99 games played. Dead-footed tie now. 102 games played. Still tied. 111 games on the books.
I have no momentum. All gone.
Anthony, 2-game lead, has a magic number now.
Yeah, but that's a big magic number.
Anthony, 3-game lead now. 30 magic number. It sure is a big magic number, but it keeps coming down. 25 magic number. Steve is 3.5 back now.
Baden.
Steve, you need to sweep them.
Yeah.
6 now.
Yep. That didn't happen.
Magic of 15. 4 now.
Ooh,
Picked
ooh.
up 2. Magic of 10. 3. Magic 8. Oh, Steve.
Good
you
job,
almost-
Anthony.
Yeah,
Good one.
Nice job.
Anthony.
Nice job, Anthony.
that was
Thanks.
exciting.
What a
Steve,
draft.
you got as close as 3. Anthony, well done. Congrats.
Nice job.
No rainouts, so let's see what the final standings are. Oh my goodness, look at that. 92-90 win teams. Fantastic. Well done, you guys. That was awesome. Anthony, 25 and 14 and 1-run victories. That bullpen really came through for you. 10 and 3 in
Yeah.
extra inning games. Yeah, huge. Steve, you didn't do too badly either on 1-run games either, but this 10 and 3 extra inning, that's a killer. That's the reason you won. Wow. All right, we're going to look at the stats for this season, but let me just tally this information. All right, let's take a look at these stats. Can you guys see this particular screen?
Yep.
Great. So this first batch here is going to be the pitchers. Let's just sort these guys by innings pitched. Oops. And again, this is just this last season. The Excel file I'm going to send you will contain all 7 seasons. You'll be able to see what each guy did in every individual season and also as a combined average. I mean, Mark, you can't complain about Coombs. 27 and 11, 156 ERA, 370 innings. You got your money's worth. So your team, it did not do well, but it was not because of Coombs. It was other factors. He cranked it out the way you thought he would have. I thought this particular guy right here was the key to Anthony's team, Larry Jackson. Didn't pitch quite as well as Coombs, but 300 innings of a 2.77 ERA for $29. That's pretty darn good. I think I had Larry Jackson valued at around 40. Anthony paid 29 for him.
So out of 155 games, I had pitchers throw 112 complete based on just the ones we're seeing.
112 complete games? Yeah. So
Well, hold on. 112,
That's tug ball, baby.
118. 118. And that's just on the guys we can see here.
Yeah. So McGraw,
There's got to be something wrong with McGraw.
McGraw might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to run some sims with a more generic manager to see what kind of an impact that would have had on all this. Anthony, this other guy too, I forgot what his first name is. Dixie, I think Davis.
Yeah, Dixie.
Phenomenal. Yeah, you almost got 300 innings out of him too.
Yeah, those are the only 2 starters that really did anything for me.
Yeah. So Michael, Chief Bender, very nice. That duo of Plank and actually Plank this particular season not that great, but Bender very good. Kevin got a nice season from Urban Shocker. And Kevin a very nice season from Cy Morgan too. So I mean the guys that basically perform. Steve, Bob Moose for $10. That's phenomenal. See, Chan-Ho Park, 24 games started, 18 complete games. 26 games started for Buell, 20 complete. Yeah, there is a lot of complete games for you.
Yeah, I mean,
Coombs, I understand.
how the heck does Johnson get 6 complete games? I think he was a reliever.
You might have needed the starting innings.
No, I didn't need starting innings.
No. So
No,
I'll take a look.
that
but
many
it could-
complete games, there's a problem.
Yeah, it could have been that McGraw was treating all your pitchers as he would have in that dead ball era. But to allay your concerns, I am going to run sims with Buck Miller too as your manager, and I will send you the results. So you have an idea. I'll send everybody the results. So you have an idea of the kind of impact that the manager can have.
Don't pick McGraw.
I would say transporting Tug McGraw through a time machine to this century is probably
Yeah. And
probably bad.
and it's interesting. I'll switch to the next screen in a minute because I actually had this thought the other day because I'm always thinking of just trying a few different things to make things as good as they can be. So the thought that I had was, why don't I just select a a middle of the road manager like Buck Miller too, and not give you guys a choice. In other words, everybody has the same manager. That way, there isn't any doubt about whether the manager had anything to do with the sim results. So that might be, something that I might try in the future. In other words, pick a safe, neutral manager. Everybody has the same manager, and then we just roll with that. You guys still have to come up with your lineups, your rotations, but the manager, you don't even have to think about that because everybody will have the same guy.
I kind of like picking the manager, and also
Well-
think it's really funny that Tug McGraw did this. Who would have thought Tug McGraw would be so reckless with his inning?
Well, it's not Tug, it's John.
John,
Oh,
Johnny McGraw.
John
yeah.
was long dead before Tug came around.
I'm sorry, I went with the more modern one. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
my
it's John.
mistake.
It's John McGraw.
So even worse.
Yeah,
Uh,
but John McGraw was considered one of the best managers ever.
for his time.
But Mark, you do make a good point. It could be that he was managing the team as he would have managed, a 1915, 1920 team.
Yeah,
So,
use your imagination.
I will run some. I'm going to give you Buck Miller too, and I'll run the seasons again and send you guys the results so you know exactly how much of an impact that would have had.
That will
so
be
this-
interesting.
And
Yeah.
if it does come out that way, then I should have went with my gut instinct of going with Sparky Anderson.
Sparky Anderson might have been a better choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this particular screen shows you the I ranked it by OPS, so it shows you the quality type stats. So forget about Bo Cabela, because obviously look at the plate appearances. We want to look at the guys with the big plate appearances. Sisler, the big dog, 1065 OPS. Williams, 1053. That is really good, Anthony. That's 150 points more than in real life.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that would certainly put you over the top. Now, again, this is only one season. And Williams did have a good year that year. His OPS, I think, was 901, but still, that's substantially over his real life total. Piazza, you got your money's worth there. And then the next guy with significant at-bats would be Santo. That makes sense. Mondesi, very nice season. And Stargell. And then Baby Doll comes in right under 900. So that gives you an idea of the
Who's Campbell?
qualitative stats. Campbell, where's
Who's
Campbell?
that?
Ron, I think it was.
Ron.
Campbell, yeah, 24 at-bats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not a lot of at-bats. Eddie Collins had a nice year as well for Anthony, 865 OPS. Let's take a look at the quantity stats. Let's do home runs and then we'll do stolen bases because there were a decent amount of stolen bases here. Piazza, 42, not surprising. Billy Williams, 42. I think that year in real life he was like in the mid-30s. Stargell underperformed a little bit in this particular year. Santo, I never knew Santo as a speed guy, but he hit 13 triples. Interesting. Great year.
Probably playing in the polo grounds.
Great year. Well, not Santo. He was playing in Wrigley Field.
Just when we're at Mark.
Yeah. Good stuff. Zeal 27, Hebner 25, Carroll's 25, so no surprises there. Wow, look at Sisler, Steve. 64 doubles and 23 homers. And 51 stolen bases.
Ooh,
Wow.
Well worth it.
Yeah.
that's the
Let's-
MVP. Yeah.
Let's do a little sort by
Number
stolen
one.
bases.
Sheesh.
Otis Nixon did what he was supposed to do. Sisler 51. Eddie Collins 45. But
Wow, look at that.
under 70 percentage wise.
Yeah.
That's surprising. He was 81 and for 81 on stolen base attempts.
Collins?
Yeah, that season he had 81 steals.
Yeah, yeah, it was 81 steals, but I noticed that the APBA rating, they rated him less because that 81 number is just based on the fact that some of those caught stealing numbers from back then were incomplete. So APBA made the assumption that, that he was caught a certain number of times. So they gave him a grade 28 out of 36, which is still very good, but it's not going to get you, 81 and 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right, so that covers the quantity stats. And let's take a look at the team summaries. So basically Steve and Anthony with the best hittings. Let's see, Anthony, you had a 780 OPS. Steve at a 773 OPS. It doesn't show it here, but I'll include it in the Excel spreadsheet. But you guys were very, very close on hitting. I think the separator was, at least for this season, was the pitching. Anthony was a little bit better than you, Steve.
144. Yeah.
Not by much, though. And then fielding wise, you guys are actually all very, very close. 984, Kevin was tops in fielding, and Anthony was the lowest at 979. And then the last tab is just the standings, which you guys already saw. And obviously, we already talked about the extra inning victories. So that was fun. A seven season World Series. We stopped the share here.
It's only fun if you were one of the two teams playing in those 7.
I get it. I get it. But Mark, I'll do 2 things. Number one, you're gonna get the Excel spreadsheet that I always send out. And I do encourage you guys to take a look at those numbers because it'll give you some insight into what you could have done differently. And then 2, what I will do is, because I want to just find out how much of an impact good old Johnny McGraw had on your team, not just on your team, but on the overall sim, I'm going to replace McGraw with Buck Miller 2, and I'm going to run some simulations to see what would have happened if you had gone in a different direction.
And then you should try giving us all Buck Miller too and see what happens.
I could do that.
Just to see your theory, see if that
Yeah.
matters. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that. I will tell you this, because you guys know I do pre-sims. So in the pre-sims that I ran, I did use Buck Miller too for everybody.
Okay.
And it was still Anthony and Steve as the top 2 teams. So I'm gonna run it again just to give you guys a sense of what the difference might have been in terms of what Mark's record might have been and the impact on everybody else. But Anthony and Steve still were producing some of the better results. So, well, you guys, I hope, obviously it's way more fun when you win. I get it.
Oh, it's fun when you lose too, Anthony, but
Yeah.
when you get to this age, you got to bitch about something.
You gotta get attitude, Mark.
That's what these young guys will learn.
You know what? You're
Right,
absolutely
Very true.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Hey, having said that though, I hope I don't have any more scheduled right now, sim auctions after this coming Saturday, because I know I know a lot of people get involved in fantasy baseball. Although regretfully, Steve has decided to retire from fantasy baseball.
Done.
So I'm hoping that Steve takes a year off and wants to come back next year because he's been part of my league for how long, Steve?
12 years?
12 years, yeah.
Yeah, probably 12 years.
Yeah. So Steve,
Derek's looking for some people for the Sabre one as well.
I already threw in I already grabbed one of those teams.
Yeah, there's some
But,
spots open, and there's
Yeah.
I think somebody's trying to do a daily one as well. I'm not
Yeah.
up for that, but
Yeah. Yeah, daily's the way we've always played. So, but
Yeah, I'm probably teaching this summer if my request comes through, so that'd be tough.
cool. So obviously, I know a lot of people will be involved in fantasy baseball, but so I might give the Sims a little bit of a break, but maybe once the baseball season gets started, you guys will be surprised by an email from me to say, "Hey, I'm scheduling a Sim auction. Would you like to give it a shot?" So, and
I
obviously,
definitely,
yeah,
I'm not ending it on this one.
heck no, and neither is Kevin or Michael. I know that.
No way. Just
Yeah.
improving every time.
Yeah. So and as an aside, if any of you want to, send me a note and say, "Hey, can you just put something together, maybe a little smaller, maybe 4 guys." By all means. I love this stuff, so I'm ready to do this at any point in time. I love this. I did this because I created this because it's something that's been on my mind for a long time, and if no one else had done it, so I figured let me do this, and here we are. So.
Sounds good.
All
Thanks
right,
again,
guys.
Andy, for all your time and effort.
It's
It's
been
a
a
great
pleasure.
game, Andy. I really enjoy it.
It's been a pleasure, guys. I'll start working on the Excel compilation, and you should have it in a day or two.
Sounds
That's
good.
great.
All right.
Thank you.
Great
Nice
job,
job, Anthony.
I guess. Good
Great
job.
job,
Thanks.
Steve. Take care, you
Yeah.
guys. Okay,
Thanks, Andy, for putting it all together.
you got it.
Appreciate it. Take care, guys. See you
Bye.
again.